Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing something slightly different. There are a lot of introduction videos about BTS, and I think I have watched many of them while on my way to learn about BTS starting 2019. I have stopped watching those because I thought I knew BTS already, and so today I'm going to watch something. I think this is it says uploaded 6 months ago, 2022 update. So I'm going to see if I can learn anything new about BTS and see if there's anything I did not know about my boys. So without further ado, let's go.
First things first, a big announcement.
Oh, wait a second. So this video is from Rice Squad. It's called The Most Beautiful Life Goes On. So it's combining the most beautiful moments in life and life goes on. A story of BTS 2022 update. So apparently there was an older version that but they updated. So anyway, so let's go.
And a change to the channel. We are rebranding. The era of the Asian theory is over. We are pleased to announce the new channel name. Wait for it. Rice Squad.
So
We
they
believe this
changed
name more strongly represents our brand and who we are as a channel.
Okay. From the debut to, I think that was the last one, right? No, that's really, no. Permission to Dance is not the last song. I think last song was Yet to Come, that album, but depending on, 6 months ago. So yeah, at that time, that was the last song. So from debut to 6 months ago. Well, let me stop right here. The introduction was amazing. So this might be the best introduction of the introduction video of BTS. It's like a movie. Wow, that's amazing. Now I'm very anxious. I'm not anxious. Now my expectation is up here. So, and this one's pretty long, 45 minutes. I'm gonna stop talking. But I just want to mention that. I just want to say that the introduction was amazing.
For this video, we've partnered up with Vapor 95. Vapor 95 is an LA-based company that makes really cool aesthetic clothing and home goods about anime, vaporwave, and retro 80s and 90s artwork. And this beautiful cherry blossom shirt is actually from Vapor 95. Use the link in the description below to get 15%. Get graphic tees, sweaters, hoodies, tapestries, merch, you name it. Just click the link below. Now, onto the video. Today, everyone knows the name of BTS. They've been invited onto late-night talk shows, they've shattered records, they've sold out stadiums, they've made it onto the big screen. These days, you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who didn't know who these guys were or haven't heard at least one of their songs. And if they don't, either they've been living under a rock or they're 100 years old. The success of the Bangtan Boys is worldwide, but it wasn't always like this.
The very existence of BTS can be owed to its founding father, an innovator by the name of Hitman Bang. His idea to create a rap...
His name is not Hitman Bang. He may be just his other name.
...group was...
I hope people who watch this video will not think that that's his real name, Hitman Bang.
...somewhat inspired by YG. In the late 90s, he experimented with this idea with different trainees, eventually choosing 7 members. And while 3 of them eventually left, the remaining 4, Teddy, Danny, Jinhwan, and Baekhyun, debuted in 1998 as One Time. Their first album, titled One Time for Your Mind, was one of the year's best-selling albums and won several awards, including the Global Disc and SBS Music Awards for Best New Artist and KMTV's Award for Best Hip Hop Artist. The group enjoyed moderate success and released 4 more albums before going on indefinite hiatus.
Wait, what's going on with the quality of it's HD?
In 2006 due to their mandatory military service.
The year was 2010, and the 5-year-old company Big Hit Entertainment had previously signed 2 artists, 88 and 2AM. They had their share of successes, but they were very traditional K-pop groups. Big Hit wanted a fresh new sound, and upon listening to One Time, CEO Hitman Bang Si-hyuk had decided that that was the sound
Okay, now I got his name right.
that he had been looking for. And on top of that, the youth needed someone to relate to, but more importantly, to look up to. He decided that he would create a hip-hop group.
Yes, that I know. It's not as a hip-hop.
At 15 years old, Kim Namjoon auditioned for a certain Big Deal Records, which he completely
I really want to know which big deal record it was, though. Was it SM or YG or JYP, one of those?
botched, forgetting the lyrics to the song he was performing. Afterwards, fellow rapper Sleepy recommended that he try auditioning at another label, Big Hit, and even put in a good word for him to one of the producers there. At age 16, Namjoon auditioned in front of Bang Si-hyuk himself and instantly impressed him. He was offered a deal with Big Hit on the spot, which Namjoon accepted and became a trainee, officially choosing a name for himself, Rap Monster, destined to become the leader of the newly created group. Now that a fearless leader was chosen, they needed more members. Min Young-gi was a 17-year-old living in Daegu, an avid basketball player and rapper. He had been interested in music, especially rap, from a very early age, and despite his parents' disapproval, started performing as a rapper while still in high school. He quickly gained attention as a rapper and producer in the underground hip-hop scene. One day he saw a flyer for a rap competition called Hit It and decided to participate. And although he only placed second, the company hosting the competition, you guessed it, Big Hit, decided to sign him on as a producer. Hitman Bang spoke with him afterwards, convincing him to join a newly created hip-hop group. He told him to just focus on rapping and assured him that he wouldn't need to dance. He was lying. And just like that, the new group had a second member, known as Suga, a combination of the first two syllables of shooting guard, his favorite position in basketball. But they wouldn't of the first 2 syllables of shooting guard, his favorite position in basketball. But they wouldn't stop there. The new group had a second member, known as Suga, a combination of the first 2 syllables of shooting guard, his favorite position in basketball. But they wouldn't stop there. Rappers were nice, but Big Hit actually needed a dancer. Jung Ho-seok always loved dancing. He was in the starting lineup of the dance crew Neuron in his hometown, Gwangju. He was good at it too, winning several local championships and even winning a championship at the national level in 2008. While he did perform at several competitions hosted by JYP and even won some of them, he ultimately went on to audition for a smaller, lesser-known company, Big Hit Entertainment. His dance skills and strong understanding of rhythm made him an instant favorite, and he was signed on as J-Hope. Not only that, but they saw potential in him to become a rapper, which at this point he had little experience with. However, J-Hope made the decision to leave Big Hit until RM convinced both J-Hope and Big Hit that the group wouldn't be complete without him. He was right.
쉬라고 했어.
아니 근데 형 항상
중앙일보에 아니에요. 종호석 와야 된다고. 종호석 안 오면
쉬라고
진짜
했었지.
멤버 그냥 믿고 간 거야 나도 그냥. 올해 했고 멤버 보고 왔어. 멤버 보고 왔어 진짜. 근데 나는 진짜 네가 그얘 없었으면.
With the addition of J-Hope, the rap line was complete. Now they needed some singers. Now, just
So far, I know everything that they have covered, so good. I think I know my boys.
like how RM, an amazing rapper with a ton of experience, was chosen as the first official member of the rap line, it would only make sense that a legendary singer and dancer would be the perfect first member of the vocal line.
Jin,
Right?
Yeah, Jin did not have any experience.
But Kim Seok-jin didn't have any sort of experience like that. Believe it or not, one day when he was walking on the streets of his hometown, Anyang, he was approached by a representative of SM Entertainment with an offer to work for the company. In typical Jin fashion, he never followed up with them because he believed it to be a scam. Apparently, Jin was a very good-looking guy because years later, this time as a college student in Seoul, he was once again approached on the street.
So let me ask you a question. When I was in college, I have to say none of my classmates look like Jin. I did not skip class or anything, but if I have a classmate who looks like Jin, I will be on time every time. And I'll be trying to be group on the same team as him, study group or project team. I will try my best to be on the same team with him. Just me.
This time by an executive at Big Hit Entertainment. He didn't sing, he didn't dance. He was at school to become an actor, and he decided to audition to become an actor. Big Hit, however, had different plans for him, and convinced him to become a vocalist for their new group. To do so, he literally learned to dance and sing starting from zero, but thankfully, not without help from other vocalists.
There are a lot of introduction video I've watched, and I have to say, sadly, that the portion about Jin normally just all talk about how he's alright handsome, how he was scouted by Big Hit with his look while he's walking down the street, walking off the bus, whatever. But that's pretty much it. So nobody talk about his personality. Nobody talk about how hard he has to work, because imagine that you're Jin. You join this group that everybody has some kind of experience, rapping, dancing, singing, and V has music background. He play instrument, right? Jin had nothing, and he joined the group just for the look. So imagine the pressure that he has. That people might say, oh, he just, he is discovered just for the look. So the only thing he has is his face and nothing else. People tend to think that, oh, he's just there to look good. Unlike other people who actually have talent, it must be very stressful for him, right? But so far, I have not seen any introduction that talk about that. I don't know if there's any harsher video on that either. So yeah, let me know. But I just want to mention that, so far I have not seen any introduction video that did justice for Jin. They talk about how great RM is, how great Young is, and how great Jimmy is dancing, and how great V is singing and dancing, and Jungkook is the main vocalist. Yeah, they're all great, but when it comes to Jin, it's just like, oh, he's a funny guy, he's good looking, he knows how to cook. The end. Really? Come on. JK!
Jungkook initially had dreams of becoming a badminton player when he was young,
Really?
but after seeing G-Dragon perform Heartbreaker on television, it influenced him to want to become a singer instead. Because of this, at only age 14, he decided to audition for the South Korean talent show, Superstar K. He didn't pass auditions, but this was just enough to catch the eye of not one company, not two companies, but 7 different companies. This included JYP, FNC, Woollim, Starship Entertainment, TS, Cube, and of course, Big Hit Entertainment. So why did Jungkook, given the choice of all these bigger companies, decide to go with the relatively smaller company?
Yes, I know, because RM, but I did not know about the badminton thing and the G-Dragon influence. But I knew that he joined Big Hit because he saw RM practice in the room.
Hit. The answer was simple, because he thought, and I quote, RM was cool, so I wanted to sign with him.
Cool.
That brings the number of members to 5. The next member of BTS was just as surprised to find Big Hit as Big Hit was to find him, and it almost didn't happen.
Yes, V.
Kim Tae-young was always passionate about music, and it was always his dream to pursue it as a career. However, it was hard, as his family was poor, his parents being humble farmers. His father told him that if he was passionate about music, he should learn an instrument, and he did, spending 3 years practicing with the saxophone. One day, one of his friends decided to audition for Big Hit Entertainment when they were holding auditions in his hometown of Daegu. Tae-young, being a good friend, came with him to keep him company. But when one of the team members in charge of the audition saw Tae-young, he encouraged him to audition as well. With nothing to lose, he did. That day,
So won't you say that even though he auditioned, but he caught the attention of the staff at the audition site, I'm sure for his looks. So Jin is not the only one who were noticed by the face. So V is also right. He got noticed because of he looks good, or else, why would someone walk to a kid who just sitting over there waiting for his friends and he didn't want to audition? He must have the look that attracts the staff. And it just so happened that he also can sing and sing a little bit and dance, and he most importantly he plays instrument, right?
he was the only one in Daegu to move on
But nobody mentioned that he caught the attention of the staff for his look.
to the next round of auditions, and eventually became a trainee for Big Hit Entertainment. They decided to keep him as a surprise member and didn't want to reveal him as one of the members until his debut. In the same vein, Big Hit had him choose something mysterious for his stage name. He decided to go with V for victory. Here seems like a nice round number to stop, right? 6 members for a new hip-hop group, 3 rappers and 3 vocalists. It seems like a complete group, but still there was something missing. Someone was missing. Someone that could take this already great group of artists and push it even further to achieve perfection. A powerhouse. Someone so naturally talented that they could stand out in a room full of already talented artists. This project that Big Hit had embarked upon needed a capstone. Park Jimin was a naturally talented dancer.
Yes.
When he was in middle school, he attended a dance academy and continued to pursue dance at Busan High School of Arts, where he studied contemporary dance and was the top student in the whole modern dance department. Impressed by his raw talent, a teacher encouraged him to audition for Big Hit Entertainment, who were holding auditions in Busan. He was only 16 when he passed the audition and moved to Seoul to become a trainee. He was the final member of the group, and he also had the shortest training period. Interesting to note is that the group feels very much ragtag because, in a sense, with the exception of Jimin and J-Hope, it was. RM auditioned for Big Hit because he didn't pass his auditions with the first company he chose. And despite their amazing talent, Suga and Jungkook didn't win the competitions they were in, but they signed on with Big Hit after the fact because of their high quality performances. V never even planned on auditioning, but just decided to do it on a whim, and Jin, they literally just found Jin on the streets.
So those two, right, V and Jin, they were approached by Big Hit. I don't know why. Jin, everybody says because of the face. I want to assume that V is the same thing for the face. But everybody just, I mentioned already. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
But perhaps it was fate. This was the group that they chose. And just like that, in 2012, the newly created Bangtanso년dan, the Bulletproof Boy Scouts, or simply BTS, was set.
저도 아침에 리허설 때 이거 보고 많이 웃었습니다.
They had the group, but they still needed the music. In early 2013, they set out to create some social media presence for themselves before officially debuting, posting song covers on both SoundCloud and YouTube, which you can still go watch today. In May, Big Hit launched a countdown clock on their website in preparation for BTS's debut album, complete with a trailer and a ton of promotional material, including photos for the first time of all the members in the official lineup.
Was that the first time? I think that was the time that when people realized that V was one of the member, because I remember V was the hidden secret weapon.
Finally, the big day came. June 12, 2013, BTS held a press conference and a debut showcase where they performed their 2 singles, No More Dream and We Are Bulletproof Part 2. The same day, the Too Cool for School album, as well as the music video for No More Dream, were released. The very next day, BTS performed the song again on their official debut stage on Mnet's M Countdown. This was the world's first taste of BTS. Commercially, the album didn't do extraordinarily well. The lead single, No More Dream, peaked at 124 in Korea, and the album sold only 24,000 copies during its first year. Bulletproof Part 2 didn't even chart. The first year wasn't all that great for BTS, but despite everything, people saw them. People saw the sparkle in their eyes and their limitless potential. And they were hot, of course. On July 9th, ARMY was established as BTS's official fandom. They made their comeback only 2 months later in September when they released their single No, along with their EP, part 2 of what would be their school trilogy, Oh, Are You Late 2. In the music video for the single, they made a commentary on the harsh Korean education system, along with their previous themes of hopes and dreams. No peaked at 92 in Korea, but also quickly fell off the charts. The album debuted at number 4 on the Gaon Weekly chart and was the 55th best-selling album in South Korea that year. This was enough to secure them the coveted New Artist of the Year award at the Melon Music Awards, the Golden Disc Awards, and the Seoul Music Awards. Part 3 of the School Trilogy was released in February of 2014, the EP School Love Affair. This time, the lead single was Boy in Love, and the other single being Just One Day. The album, as well as both singles, enjoyed moderate success, with the album topping the Gaon album chart as well as making its first international appearance at number 3 on the Billboard World Albums chart. The album also marked their first distinctive change in theme, focusing more on school life and young love, as evidenced by their Boy in Love music video. They also held their first fan meetings with a crowd of 3,000 in Seoul. BTS was doing well. That is, until July. This is unfortunately a dark chapter in the lives of BTS and ARMY. That's right, American Hustle Life. I'm joking, of course.
I watched a few episodes of American Hustle Life. I did not finish it. I think I watched up to the point that they were recruiting girls off the street for their videos, and I have not finished that. I should go back and finish it.
But American Hustle Life was a reality show put together by Mnet that brought BTS to Los Angeles, where they had the unique opportunity to learn the true ways of hip-hop from the masters. And it was a pretty darn cringy opportunity.
Yeah, I remember there was a time that I think they separated out into 2 groups and they were supposed to cook. I was really upset with Jin and Yoongi and whoever is supposed to be their mentor. Yeah.
But an opportunity nonetheless. Whatever you do, just don't watch the Warren G version of Boy in Love. You've been warned. However, cringe and all, the trip proved fruitful for BTS, making connections, performing their first US concert for free in front of 200 fans, as well as their first appearance at KCON. The next month, in August, BTS released their first full-length studio album, Dark and Wild. The album featured 2 singles, Danger and War of Hormones.
See, what a hormone. I still don't get it. I still don't get why people say that I need to say this thing about the lyrics.
The album featured a marked shift in sound with a touch of R&B and electronica. It was met with moderate success. It peaked at number 2 in Korea, selling over 200,000 albums. In October and again in May of the following year, BTS went on their first and second concert tours, known as the Red Bullet Tour, where they visited 13 different countries, including Japan, the Philippines, Australia, the US, Mexico, and many others. They also came out with their first Japanese album in December, Wake Up, featuring many Japanese versions of their songs as well as original tracks Wake Up and The Stars, followed by a Japan tour and a solo concert in Korea.
I always wondered that when they have their Japanese songs, do they have the same lyrics just translated into Japanese? Or they write something slightly different? Because I've noticed that the English portion remained the same, but the Korean portion switched to Japanese. I haven't, gone on to study the Japanese lyrics, but I wonder if they are the same lyrics that just kind of switched to Japanese, and how does it impact the rhyming of the song?
Although Dark and Wild got decent attention, they needed something different. They needed something that would shake things up. They got to work. April 29, 2015 was their comeback. When this album was produced, each member had a hand in writing songs for the album. They again changed their sound, from aggressive hip-hop to youthful, colorful styles. And not only their sound, but their image as well. This can be evidenced by their newest EP, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life. And just by looking at the album cover, they ditched the dark colors and the bulletproof vest symbol that had become so synonymous with BTS, and replaced it with a simple white and pink background overlaid with the title. And then they dropped the single that would change everything. I Need You. It was sentimental, it was hopeful, it was new. Just by looking at the music video, we can see that BTS has also ditched their punk bad boy image and replaced it with a more real, vulnerable, down-to-earth, and youthful feel. This proved to be the change that BTS needed for mainstream success. Billboard called it one of the greatest K-pop songs of the decade.
Really?
It charted at number 5 in Korea, and even led them to their first music show win on SBS MTV's The Show. And that wasn't all, they released
So how important is this music show wins, right? Because they already won the Rookie of the Year when they first debuted, and then 2 years later they won this thing. Is this win more important than the other, like Rookie of the Year award?
their second single, Dope, on June 24th, which started off with a poignant line from RM.
어서 와. 방탄은 처음이지?
Welcome. Is this your first time with BTS? And you know what? For a lot of people, it was. In a way, their first studio album and tour can be seen as their stepping stone between old school BTS and new school. In November, they came back with their follow-up EP, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life, Part 2, the second EP in what would be dubbed the Youth Trilogy, which featured the single Run. The album focused even more on the frivolity, friendship, and carefree attitude that comes with enjoying one's youth, but just like in I Need You, contrasted that with suffering, depression, loneliness, society, and the stark and sometimes dark reality of life. Compare this with the far cry of the No More Dreams music video. It felt real. It was darker, grittier, more humble, more meaningful, and most importantly, RM lost his mohawk. Run also connected narratively with their previous single, I Need You, and another video released in September titled On Stage Prologue established what would come to be known as the BTS universe, or the BU,
Ew, yes.
which would eventually combine music videos, short films, books, short stories, webtoons, and even a mobile game to create a cohesive story. And I won't go down this.
Has every one of you out there watched everything and read the notes and played the games? I have not. I have watched the videos and I have also read a webtoon. I did not finish the game because it required a lot of memory and my tablet kept crashing, so I stopped. But there are a lot of explanation videos out there. I did watch a few, especially from SLS, and because my brain is not good enough to piece everything together. So yeah.
This rabbit hole because there is a lot to digest, but it's definitely something to look into if you're a hardcore ARMY. The same month, they kicked off their third tour.
And by the way, I think it ended at the time that JK insists to think that Jin's the one who would hit him with the truck. Did he have a contract or agreement with the cat? So I don't know, has anything happened since then? I don't believe so. But if you do know something about it, let me know.
The Most Beautiful Moment in Life on-stage tour, where they performed songs from their two recent EPs, Part 1 and Part 2. And Part 2 was a hit, their biggest so far. It topped the weekly Gaon album and Billboard World Albums charts, and on Billboard, it stayed there for multiple
Yay.
weeks, the first K-pop act to do so. It also appeared on the Billboard 200 albums chart, not world albums, which is reserved for foreign non-English songs, but simply the top 200 albums, peaking at 171. Which is kind of amazing considering that this was back in 2015. They also received Best World Performer at the 17th Mnet Asian Music Awards. This brings us to Part 3 of the Youth Trilogy, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life, Young Forever, released on May 2nd, 2016, which featured probably my favorite BTS album cover. Young Forever was actually a compilation album of parts 1 and 2, so it was mostly the same songs, but it was notable that it had some new singles, Epilogue, Young Forever, Fire, and Save Me. The latter two performed exceptionally well, with both songs topping the Billboard World Digital Songs chart. This was also the second BTS album to chart on the Billboard 200 at 107, and it topped both the Gaon weekly and monthly chart, which earned BTS their first Daesang.
방탄소년단 축하드립니다.
Album of the Year at the 8th Melon Music Awards. They went on to do the second half of their tour, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life on Stage Epilogue, selling out many of their concerts and even selling out KCON in the US where they headlined the event. In September, they dropped their second Japanese album, Youth, featuring Japanese versions of tracks from their previous 3 EPs, which went gold and peaked at #1 on Japanese charts. And only a month later, in October of 2016, it happened. BTS dropped their second studio album, Wings. It sold over 500,000 copies in its first week. In comparison, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life Part 1, released just the previous year, which topped the Gaon chart, sold about 500,000 in its entire lifetime. Wings was big, but the true showstopper was its lead single, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, which got them their first all-kill, topping 8 music charts in South Korea. Its music video gained 6 million views in the first 24 hours, which broke the YouTube record for the highest number of views of a K-pop group music video within 24 hours. The album hit number 26 on the Billboard 200, the highest ever charting K-pop album on Billboard. They ended up selling 1.5 million copies in South Korea in 2016 alone, and it netted them the Artist of the Year award at the Mnet Asian Music Awards that same year, the first non-Big 3 artist ever to receive that award.
수상자는 방탄소년단.
After Blood, Sweat, and Tears, they were on a roll. BTS was unstoppable. In February of 2017, they released the instant hit Spring Day, which, quoting a Korean reviewer, embodied nostalgia and sorrow and opened a new chapter in BTS's aesthetics and lyricism, and attracted fans across generational boundaries. Which, by the way, is still on Korean charts after nearly 4 years, and the same day I'm writing this, it ranked number 53 on Melon. It won Song of the Year at the 9th Melon Music Awards. After the release of Spring Day, they went on yet another tour, the 2017 BTS Live Trilogy, Episode 3, The Wings Tour. The tickets sold out within minutes, including in the United States, the first K-pop artist to do so, and went on to win Best Social Artist at the Billboard Music Awards. The first for a Korean artist, but they would go on to win this award 4 years in a row. The next year was a period of massive growth for both the group's popularity as well as their style. They released the Love Yourself series, starting with Love Yourself Her in September of 2017, Love Yourself Tear in May of 2018, and Love Yourself Answer in August of 2018. 3 albums that gave us some of the most classic BTS songs that we know and love today, such as Mic Drop, Fake Love, Euphoria, Idol, and of course, all 3 albums.
I'm surprised that they did not mention Epiphany. At first, I was thinking that if they're only talking about the group song, but Euphoria is a solo by Jungkook, so they did not rule out the solos. But I was saying that Epiphany, it's a special song for that era. So I'm surprised that they did not mention Epiphany.
Were commercial successes, Her being their first album to top 2 million album.
It might be just me being a bias of Jin. Oh, it might just be me because Jin is my bias, but I really think Epiphany, it's a very special song for that era, and just kind of surprised it's not mentioned here.
Sales. But Tear and Answer also did equally well. These 3 albums, as well as their Japanese album, Face Yourself, proved that they weren't done yet, not even close. During this time, they shattered countless records. Their singles went platinum, they topped charts, they won awards. And not only did they break YouTube records, but they broke records that they themselves set again and again and again. This is the period where BTS really started enjoying global recognition, working with huge Western artists such as Nicki Minaj, Designer, and Steve Aoki.
I don't know. I did not like the version of Idol with Nicki. And I did not like the My Drop version with Designer. Actually, for the My Drop version, I prefer the original.
It wasn't their first time having international features on their songs, but it was definitely the biggest. And even though they were already, without a doubt, the biggest act to ever come out of South Korea, they had their eyes set even higher. They went on tour once again for the Love Yourself World Tour. During this tour, they collaborated with Steve
I like
Aoki
this song,
to make the
though.
song Wasted on Me.
Wasted on me.
Notable for being their first all-English feature, and it also served as a jumping-off point for
But yeah, unfortunately, I do not believe that BTS were in the music video.
BTS to gain a following of English speakers. Not that they really needed the help, as they sold out concerts even in the US leg of the tour, including at Citi Field in Queens, New York, where tickets sold out in 20 minutes. And as if that wasn't enough, they dropped the movie in November, Burn the Stage, which in the US alone grossed $3.54 million in the first weekend, breaking the record set by One Direction's movie, This Is Us. In September, RM had the unique opportunity to speak at the United Nations, where he spoke of anti-violence and self-love. 2 years later, he would be offered to speak on a second occasion about persistence and hope in the face of challenges.
So the second time it's not only RM, right? So the whole BTS group spoke.
And to top it all off, in October, the president of South Korea awarded every member of BTS the 5th class Hwangwon Order of Cultural Merit for outstanding meritorious services in the field of culture and art, which is one of the highest South Korean orders of merit one can receive. And that's no exaggeration. 2019 estimates put BTS's contribution to the South Korean economy to the tune of $4.65 billion each year, an equivalent to 0.3% of the country's GDP. They were the youngest to ever receive the honor. 2019, BTS invited to the Grammys, Time Magazine, Billboard. BTS entered a new era. Not an era of simply global recognition, but global dominance.
Yes.
April 12th, 2019, enter Map of the Soul Persona.
Okay, I'm gonna stop right here. It's a very long video, and so I'm going to do 2 parts. So that was part 1, and I'm going to grab lunch and come back to do part 2. Stay tuned. See you later.